Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nemeka Onyeka Aberi. One of the reasons why Indigo are regularly trashed in Nigeria at the national level is because a majority of us, Indigo, have refused to support our best 11, render support to them, and project them out there to represent our interest. Look around you. The only group of people, even within the APC, that regularly try to talk down on P2B, try to genuflate, Lexpeto, Aslik, the presidency, and those in Abuja are the Igbo APC political elites. The other day, Zulum, the governor of Borno State, was blasting the security agents and the federal government because of insecurity in Borno State. He did not care. He was in APC. The man who made him governor is the vice president, Shetima. Yet, Zulum did not miss word in calling out the federal government for the state of insecurity in Borno State. You will never hear any of the southeastern APC chieftains talk about the insecurity in the southeast or call the federal government to fix it. You will never see them talk about the terrible state of the roads in the southeast and the south-south. Where you see them, anything P2B, some of them will just come up and start talking rubbish. Look at Abia State, the only state, one of the few states in Nigeria today that have seen the light of the day. You see them all they gather, you just talk rubbish, carry out propaganda, lie. There's no other governor, there's no other political chieftain from the northwest or the northeast or the north central that does not respect Peter Gregory Obi. You will never hear any of them talk ill or talk nonsense about him. It's always the Igbo APC political elites. They are all trying to outcompete each other, outplay each other, out double each other. When nobody see, you know the funny thing, President Tinubu knows that they are expendable, useful idiots. He knows. See, let me tell you, there's something people don't know. When you try to genuflate, when you try to lick spectrum, when you try to aslick, the person you are aslicking knows that you are an aslicker. He does not count you worthy. He only sees you and allow you to play that your role, that your court jesting role, as much as it serves his purpose. But within him, he knows that you are as useless, as useful as an aslicker. Very unfortunate. You expect people who claim to have the ears of Mr. President to be thinking about or talking about, oh, how do we revive Nkalago cement factory? How do we settle the issue between Ebony and the Beto to allow that cement factory to begin to produce? Outside Lagos and Abuja, the next region where you consume the highest number of cement is in the southeast. None of them is thinking, oh, how do we work together, put the governors together to at least do a ring-fence rail network that links the Ibeto Port and Terminal in Port Harcourt. Okay, before we even build our own river port in Abia, in fact, from the Atlantic to you can even build a river port into Abia State just about 18 nautical miles or less than that. None of them is thinking about how do we work together to improve security in the southeast of Nigeria. Look at the latest IGR report from the federal government. Some of the poorest performing states apart from Enugu and Abia, and Anambra, and Imo and the Ebonyi State. And we're not asking ourselves this question. You know, the unfortunate that some of them even think themselves a superstar or superstars. Somebody wasted 50 billion naira of his state, a state that has one of the poorest poverty, one of the highest poverty illiteracy rates in the southeast. In fact, the poorest, the state that has the poverty level in Ebonyi State is competing with it of the northeast of Nigeria. Somebody wasted 50 billion building a rainbow-colored airport that nobody has ever used since it was commissioned. In a state that has poverty rate that is competing with Borno and Katsina. It never occurred to you that 50 billion could have actually been used to revolutionize agriculture in the state, which is a food basket, and create massive job for the people. If you ask him now, he claims he's a professor. Professor of what? Professor, see, you know, the problem is that Some of them think they are smart. We know that a majority of these politicians mostly embark on brick and mortar business, road construction, flyovers, because it's affording them opportunity of over-invoicing the contract price 5 times to enable them to use their private sector contractor to loot and to filter money out of the system. They think we are fools. We are not fools. In a place like Nigeria, where every region is competing to see how they can develop, how they can build up the HDI of their people, how they can work all together. All they are doing is this crab mentality. The very few who are doing well, the least spittling ass lickers want to put them down to their level. You know, I don't blame them. I blame Ndibo. You know, I say it. There is nobody that can hold you to the ground if you don't want to stay on the ground. 2027 is coming. We claim to be the wisest people and smartest from the land of the rising sun. Yeah, during the election, and I say it again, I say it, the people that will conduct the election in the 1,246 electoral ward in the southeast, the people that will conduct the election in the at the polling booths, the people that will do ward collection, local government collection in the 95 local government, the people that will do collection at the 5 states collection centers are not outsiders. They are Ndibo. Professors, lecturers, youth corpers, 99%. The people that will rig election, write results, and Ndibo, you will write result, rig incompetent political hoodlums in power. And yet, you expect yourself to be respected when you present your 4th11, when you have first 11 that you can support, and the finance to help you restore the glory and dignity of Ndibo. If not for Nenoti, there were 5 VCs that conducted election in the southeast. All Ndibo. Professor Nenayoti decided to honor God and honor humanity and honor our ancestors and stood for what is right. And it is that standing for what is right that is giving Abia State the glimmer of hope they are having now over the last 25 years. If Nena had compromised, if she had yielded to their threats, to their intimidation, today, Abia will have still been in darkness. If we want to liberate Alibo, Ndibo must participate. We know those who can protect our interests. We know those who have the capacity, who have the competencies, who have the integrity, who are not cowards, who will stand up against anybody toe-to-toe in Nigeria and demand for our rights. At the end of the day, we will collect money. We will collect bribe. We will rig. We will be worshipping thieves and calling them excellence and honorable. I know the annoying thing. The urchins who claim to be liberators and their sponsors who are seeking for asylum and refuge in foreign lands will be creating and be kidnapping and destroying our people in the name of agitation. Autopiloters. I know the irony of it. They are kidnapping and killing the poor. They are creating insecurity and destroying even their own brothers and sisters. The same political hoodlums, they see them, they close their eyes. They are even working in cahoots with them. If we want to rebuild Alibo, if we want to give Ndibo a rightful place in Nigeria, we need to sit and look in the mirror and speak to ourselves. We need to decide among ourselves that we will never again in the history of Alibo allow incompetent hoodlums to have any place in the political office, either local government chairman, governors, house of rep, senate, and whatever. But Nigeria hates us, they marginalize us. Yet you will elect hoodlums, you will rig in hoodlums, you will respect and worship them. You can't look them in the eye and tell them who they are. I cannot, because of hunger or desire, gluttony to eat meat, call a me or that. I will not do that. God have mercy on you guys.